Record. There we go.
Oh, welcome to our fabulous Christmas studios. I'm Aron. You're Quinn.
I'm Quinn. Should we start over?
No, I think we should totally leave this in.
No, I didn't say edit it out. I said just start over.
Okay, well,
I'm Quint.
I'm Aron. Welcome to our fabulous Christmas studios.
We have to look at the camera.
Behind us is the lovely emery tree. This is the inspiration for Emery's beloved Christmas tree.
Yes, it is. There at some point will be a story about a Christmas tree.
Not just any Christmas tree, a tinfoil one.
Yes.
It's fabulous. Also, the pink flamingo has a story, but it's currently in love with Todd the llama at the moment, so we just can't go there. It's too complicated. It's really weird to try to look at the camera because the lens is in the way.
The wires.
I just see a big lens.
Yeah,
Are we breaking the third wall? Is that bad?
probably. Probably the fourth and the fifth also.
Ooh, no.
Yeah.
We're never going to make it as a teen supermodel now.
My dreams are over. Crushed.
So bad.
All right, so we get to be in the same room filming, which is super nice. A shout out to my husband for a lovely surprise.
Good job, Steve. And this room is actually, like I said, our Christmas studio, which is surprisingly like my living room. It's weird how
Oddly
that
enough.
happens, but it's like $1 million studio. Absolutely high budget all the way here, baby.
Yeah, sound rigged, all of that good stuff. No echoes, no problems.
No $10 ring light that's blinking. That's definitely not a thing.
It's not blinking, you're just having a seizure.
Again,
It's a problem.
Emery has them all the time, especially when bills come or police arrive.
She doesn't
When
have
in doubt.
bills in her name.
When in doubt, take a seizure. No, Bill the policeman.
Chance has never met him.
So Quinn's husband sprung for a surprise so we could do my favorite thing in the world, which isn't hang out with my bestie, it's editing. I love it so much. So much fun,
It's great.
especially the fifth, sixth time. It's awesome. But it is, in fact, necessary. And I will say, as painful as the process, much like childbirth without the good narcotics, it's definitely worth it.
And it goes much better when we are together in person because we can argue and disagree in real time.
We can just
right
get to the
next to
fist
each
fight
other
and settle
until we
like
both,
men.
Yes, until we both figure out a solution that works and that we're both happy with. So,
Get the ice packs done, teeth back in their sockets. It's all good. It's all good. But I thought we were going to read that.
That's
Chapter.
a different video.
Is it? Yeah, then totally no spoilers here.
Yeah.
But it's hard to do with messaging because describing like tenses and what you're trying to get to and picking up on the subtleties, the nonverbal clues, like sometimes I sound a lot angrier in text. Sometimes I just look angrier in person, but that's my resting bitch face. It's like this. You're not happy with the changes? Why would you think that?
Hey, I fixed all of these things. I just need you to do a quick read through. It's like, no, we need to spend 5 hours revamping everything you fixed because you're a helper. No,
Wasn't the part that was broken.
backstory doesn't make any sense. We're getting rid of that again.
Out it goes. All that time you spent on it,
Yeah.
out.
Gone.
Sorry, hope we're attached to it.
So, back in September, and we've done a whole video on a contest that we entered, and we got we paid an additional fee and got feedback from some professionals in the business, and this is the problem. And we got the feedback, and it was really good feedback, but it took some time to get some distance and be objective and really absorb what they were getting at, because it was overall very positive. But they had some good points, and figuring out what those points were, where to really apply that, but to not over-edit it, took some time.
Some distance to really think about it, because you can realize that the the critique is invaluable, really. Even if you don't agree with it, critique is bread and butter. You have to really objectively step back and see it from the eye of the reader and the critiquer. And critiquer, is that a thing? It's a thing
It's
now.
a thing now.
It's a thing now.
Trademark.
Hashtag mind. We'll file the patent later. But really getting that distance and stepping back and detaching yourself from a story that you know so well and matters so much to you and say, yeah, that's right, I can see where this would get a little confusing. Huh. Guess we probably should. But also to edit it but not lose the voice of the characters.
Yes, and that is something that you edit things enough and you take enough other people's advice and you lose your character. We should just switch sides. No, we tried that once. It went poorly.
I think you have to
No. We did this and then we switched.
I'll hold that, and that way you can wave your right hand.
Here, why don't I do this?
That's right. This is how I get my eye put out with the bendy straw. You'll poke your eye out. You'll poke your eye out. Death by bendy straw. I always knew I'd go somewhere like that.
Yeah, well, it's not hard
Something
to figure
stupid,
that out,
really.
clearly. Yes, but I have seen people who write stories and then they send it off to beta readers and critique partners, and they take everybody's changes and they don't value their own input and their own artistic take on things. And the thing is that you really have to know what you're going for and what your character is there for. We've gotten a lot of slack for Cruiser being a jerk and people not liking his character and saying that he's unredeemable and unlikable. And it's one of those things where we were like, well, that's the point of the character. The whole point of the book is that you shouldn't like him at the beginning. By the end, you still may not like him, but you'll understand that he's a better guy than you initially thought.
Well, yeah, and it's an arc.
It is. It's a whole arc.
If you start here at perfect, what are you going to do? Yeah.
Well, you can make them bad. By the end of the book, you can make them a monster.
Yeah, but generally people are like, well, we want to be perfect and greatly loved, and they're great at everything, and they chop down mountains with a toothpick, and it's awesome.
Yes.
But it's not. He's a jerk.
It's unrealistic. It's not. And
He's a jerk, but why is he valued? Why is he on this team? Why did he go over the desk to save her? And seeing him reflected through the eyes of someone who is generally very positive is highly amusing. But when you do that editing, you don't want to go the other way and not listen to the advice. You need to have a point to your story. What are we trying to tell? And this one's very simple. How do you get someone who's a complete jerk? Who's going to fall in love with them? And why?
And when we wrote the story, we didn't know at the end if the relationship would work out or not. Yeah. There's the whole pantsing plotter deal, and we definitely, for the most part, do exploratory writing.
Oh, do we?
And yeah, it's a whole thing. You got to watch more
It's a
YouTube
thing. We
videos.
totally do that. Do it all the time. I was just doing that in the shower yesterday. Pantene? Yeah, definitely. I love Pantene. Great shampoo. Look what it's done for my hair. Pantene. Yes, fun fact, if you're going to order duck Pantene in a restaurant with your mother present, please be sure to enunciate and put the accents on the appropriate spots.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty sure my mom asked for duck Poontang.
I don't think I've seen your mom blush before.
That's you really need to know that duck well. It has to be consenting. It's so funny. I think we got lost again. But yeah.
Yeah, squirrels.
Yeah.
Yes. So, finding that balance, and that's part of where just taking some time to absorb the advice and figure out what the balance is really comes in, so that you don't make knee-jerk corrections that take your character and your story arc out of the space that they should be in, because that's the whole reason that your story was written, and it's what makes the character true to them and the world that you've written.
And while doing that, you still need to maintain an open mind and listen to the advice take a little bit of time, ruminate on it. I used ruminate in a sentence.
Yes,
I'm so
you
proud
did,
of
and
me.
properly
Right?
too.
And you take some time, ruminate on it, think about it, and come back to it with the perspective of someone who doesn't know the story and the characters yet. And remember what the point is and what you're trying to get across, and make the changes that need to be changed. It's like, I don't know, about 80% of them are dead on, and you're like, oh.
Well, and
Wow.
I remember some of the advice was that we need to know a little bit more about why Cruiser makes the decision to save the girl and why he's there
What's the
before the
vision?
shootout breaks out. And initially we were both like, that's what the whole book is for.
Why would they
And
do that?
You can't really do that right away. In scene 1, you can't explain all this stuff. But when we got together and made some edits, we focused on pulling out filler words and connector words, tightening things up a little bit more. And they weren't
Making that dialogue snap, snippity snap,
they
clickety
weren't
crack.
they
Oh,
weren't
that's
bad
me.
to begin with. That's the thing. Like it was already really good, and even the comments were very positive on that stuff. It was just little tweaks to make things a little more fine-tuned. But we were also able to slip in, a sentence here and there that cleared things up. I think we wound up doing, like, adding a paragraph.
Yeah, I think overall it's probably about 2 paragraphs we added in, but we took stuff out, and they said, the pacing is like chaotic, and you don't know why he's there and that, and then the second scene is an info dump, and oh my God, was that an info dump? It was not like an info dump, it was like an info Armageddon, just like, we don't need to explain it in the first one, we'll just do it in the second one, we'll just tell it and not show it.
Yeah.
So we took, by taking some out of that scene and sprinkling it into the other, we actually tightened up the second scene too.
We tightened up, the first scene and then the second scene. The second scene, it actually made it so that it's an Emery focused scene, and it's her introduction. And we were able to really focus on her and her relationship with Burke
And the team.
and Wolf, and it wasn't about the team through her point of view, which I think really kind of highlights her attributions to the team and why she's there. And that's important. And there's still some backstory that we lose, but it'll get sprinkled in over the course of the rest of the book and really the rest of the series.
Yeah, it's like leaving the breadcrumbs, and I think that, following that 80-90% rule, we've really got a much stronger product with relatively minor tweaks that might have had a few fistfights involved.
Maybe. Yes. So shout out to the contest people.
What was the name
I
of it?
think it's the Rocky Mountain Fiction Writers.
Yeah.
And I'll link it down below, because they really did a great job, and it was completely affordable. Like, I don't have enough good things to say about that experience.
If you really want good feedback, it was so worth it.
It's good feedback.
Hashtag not sponsored, because there's only like one person that ever watches it, and it's probably your husband. So we're not at all sponsored, but seriously, it is a great way to get really solid feedback.
It's solid feedback, and it's professional feedback. So it's meant to be constructive criticism, but it's not meant to spare your feelings either. So keep that in mind.
I'm a natural redhead. I don't have feelings.
I actually don't like critiques that are all positive to begin with, because
Then it's not a critique.
it's not a
It's
critique.
just getting a little
It's an ego.
pat
Ego
on the back.
stroke.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
Attaboy. Good job.
Yeah, they don't really do me a whole lot of good. So
This is it for our first video in the Christmas studios, the multi-billion-dollar Christmas studio. Definitely.
yay.
Definitely not $20 at a junk store 20 years ago. Multi-million-dollar.
No. All right, I'm gonna hit in.
Wait.
No.
Thanks for watching.